Our guest tonight is Lucha Underground champion Johnny Mundo. How are you?
Doing great, man. Good to be champion. What can I say?
It looks good on you, man. It looks really good on you.
It's not easy being the mayor of Slam Town. You know, you got to stay busy. How you been? We've talked before. How you been since last time?
I can't believe you remember me, and I'm going to consider that you patronizing me, and I'm going to accept that, and I'm going to move on quickly before you realize that you don't like me. But yeah.
He already knows.
He does. He can tell by my voice. Let's start with Netflix. Lucha Underground is on a mid-season hiatus, but the company is still making news with the announcement that it will begin airing on Netflix March 15th, becoming the first sports product Netflix has launched and the first wrestling product on the platform. What does that jump to Netflix mean for the company itself, and how do you feel about the move as a performer?
Well, for me as a performer, it means that more people are going to get to see Lucha Underground Season 1 and 2, which is awesome because I think the work that I've done in Lucha Underground is the best work I've done in my wrestling career. So because Netflix has 100 million subscribers in the U.S. and Canada, something like that, that means that the potential audience now of Lucha Underground could exceed any other wrestling promotion, maybe with the exception of WWE. But it puts us in a category where we have the potential to heat up, get really hot, and build Lucha Underground into something bigger than I think anyone had ever thought of previously. For the network, anything that I'm saying now about like what it could mean is just speculation. But it's kind of fun to speculate. So what do you guys think it could mean?
Hopefully more Lucha Underground. That's the main point I'm always looking at with Lucha Underground. As someone who we've all watched from the very first episode, and it's been arguably the most fun I've ever had watching wrestling, sans when I was a kid watching ECW and what they were doing, but it's in that same ilk. I feel like what Lucha Underground is doing, what ECW was doing, was it changed the game. It took what we thought we knew about wrestling and flipped it on its head, and now going to Netflix, now a whole new audience of people who didn't have the opportunity to see it before now have that opportunity. And if they fall in love with it, hopefully that means more Lucha Underground down the road for us.
Well, there's going to be more Lucha Underground down the road regardless of Netflix. But I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, it could be more Lucha Underground in terms of we turn into a weekly show. It could be more Lucha Underground in terms of we turn into an hour-and-a-half show or a 2-hour show. Any of those things could happen. But the most exciting thing for me is, like I said, was the idea that all those people now have the option to watch Lucha Underground and watch the full episodes. Because there's tons of people, whenever I travel abroad, that have seeked out little clips on YouTube and tried to watch them before they get pulled down in foreign countries where they're not supposed to be put up. But the real exciting thing is this idea now that everyone's going to get to see the show, which I believe in so much.
Mike, your next question?
Well, Lucha Underground's already revolutionized the wrestling business in a lot of ways, and joining forces with Netflix is obviously another barrier-breaking accomplishment, but I'll ask you to speculate on this. Apart from how important the partnership is for Lucha Underground, how do you think that it might impact or change the wrestling business as a whole?
Well, the entertainment business in general as a whole is trying to figure out exactly how and when people are consuming content these days. The idea of binge watching is something that really is coming with Netflix, and the idea that you can watch like subsequent episodes all in a row, which is how I like to watch TV. I remember when Stranger Things came out, if I had to watch like one episode per week, I wouldn't have been nearly as into it as I was when I just sat there and watched the whole thing in like 2 days. So for the wrestling industry as a whole, that idea means that more of an episodic feel could start becoming the norm with professional wrestling shows. Lucha Underground really is the first true episodic professional wrestling show. There's storylines in every promotion, but the way that Lucha Underground is crafted really is more of a TV show than your traditional wrestling show. It's more of a blend. So this could be the first evidence of how wrestling is changing because of the changing in how people consume content, the shortening of attention spans, and the wants and needs of wrestling fans. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard a wrestling fan say they don't have enough time to watch Raw, and maybe it's less about not having the time to watch a 3-hour show. It's the time and the patience, because you can sum up usually your 3-hour Monday Night Raw with a 5-minute conversation. So I think that's exactly what Lucha Underground has been nailing, is respectful of people's time. The show moves quickly, and there's relevant information throughout the show. There's not a ton of recap. You know what I mean?
Of course, and when you're talking about Raw, my 5-minute recap in air quotes is actually a 2-minute recap, me saying, wow, that fucking sucked. So I move on quickly when I talk about Raw. Brandon, Gavin, next question.
Well, you mentioned earlier that you feel like you've done your best work over the past few years with Lucha Underground. And I feel like you've taken every aspect of your game to the next level, from your in-ring work, mic work, and your character. Is there an aspect of your work that you're most proud of since joining Lucha?
You know what? Like you nailed it. All those things. I mean, there's the idea of leveling up my athleticism and my moveset, so to speak. But there's also the intangibles, my mic work, and a big part of why I feel like my mic work has improved so much is the schedule of Lucha Underground. So I have a lot more time to do the things that I want to do now, and I've been spending quite a bit of time writing, acting, and making films. And because I'm doing all this acting and this writing and like a lot of like creating short comedy skits with my friends and improv shows, I feel like that's really filled out my confidence on the mic and my mic work, which I never really thought was super lacking, but has been a perceived weakness of mine as far as my run with WWE. So I guess I'm really proud of that. I mean, proud that I've been able to be on a radio interview and have somebody like you say that I've improved in every area. It means that people that are watching wrestling have noticed it.
Well, when Lucha Underground returns from its hiatus, you will square off against the Mac in a championship match that will go all night long. What should fans expect from this matchup, and did you prepare any differently for an Iron Man style matchup?
Expect to see one of the best matches of my career. That all night long match against the Mac is. I was super bummed that it wasn't before the mid-season hiatus because I was so excited to see it. The Mac is a ridiculously talented performer, and anytime you're going to do an Iron Man match or an all-night-long match, you need to up your cardio and watch a lot of tapes, if you know what I mean. Become a student of the game. So for my preparation for that all-night-long match, it's not like I had to really change what I was doing, because when we're taping Lucha Underground, I really immersed myself in wrestling. I watch independent wrestling, tons of Lucha, study some of my old tapes from back when I was with the Fed, and come up with ideas. And sometimes my ideas are just things that I did before that I forgot that I did. But I think fans should expect an excellent match between me and the Mac when we come back.
Mike, your next question?
Well, obviously, all the in-ring stuff for Season 3 has already been done, but in terms of promotion and preserving interest in the product, what do you think some of the advantages and disadvantages of having a long mid-season break are?
Well, the biggest advantage for me for the mid-season break is I mentioned to you guys this movie that I did, Boone the Bounty Hunter, and having this time off in the middle of the season has allowed me to finish all the deliverables for the movie and start promoting the release. The official trailer for the movie is coming up today. There's going to be a story about it on Uprocks, and I wrote, produced, and starred in this movie. Spent about 4 years on it. And having this time off, is really allowing me to push the movie across the finish line, so to speak. So I've been working a couple hours a day, every day, to finish the audio cue sheet, the stock footage cue sheet, change the title, finishing up the completion bond paperwork with SAG, all that stuff, going through quality control. And I can't tell you how much I've put into this movie and how excited I am for people to see it. For action movie fans and for fans of professional wrestling, this is it's basically a movie about a bounty hunter who does parkour to catch his bounties. And he gets himself into trouble and has to make a decision between ambition and justice. But really, it's supposed to be just a fun, action-packed movie where I integrate parkour, pro wrestling, one-liners, and all the stuff that I've been honing with my work in Lucha, and put it into this movie. It's called Boone the Bounty Hunter. Check out the trailer today, and it comes out May 9th everywhere: iTunes, Amazon, on demand. It'll be all over the place.
BG?
Well, Lucha Underground has produced some of the best matches over the past few years, but you've consistently been the company's top gimmick matches, such as the ladder match, cage matches, and all night long matches. Is that something that you notice in the moment or looking back, that you seem to be among the top wrestlers that they look to in order to produce these memorable matches, especially ones that need to go longer in time?
Well, first of all, I usually ask to be in those kind of matches, and I think everybody at the involved with Lucha Underground knows that I'm always excited to be involved in a creative match all night long, or ladder match, falls count anywhere. And it's hard for me to say that I'm the go-to guy, because the Lucha Underground roster seems like such a collaboration. I mean, the Weapons of Mass Destruction matches, Grave Consequences, street fights, Boilhead street fights. There's so many talented wrestlers and so many creative matches that I think it shows what a deep roster Lucha Underground has. And for me, I try to I feel like it's every pro wrestler's job to be themselves. So every time I'm in a match, whether it's a ladder match or falls count anywhere or all night long, I just try to make sure the character of Johnny Mundo stays intact and will do the things that Johnny Mundo does. And if both wrestlers are doing that, whether it's a straight match or a gimmick match, usually the match makes more sense and people enjoy it more.
Well, changing gears here for just a minute, as someone who wrestled Sexy Star to win the championship, someone who wrestled alongside Taya, what do you say to critics who continue to complain about the intergender wrestling in Lucha Underground?
In Lucha Underground, wrestlers are treated like superheroes. And to critics who are complaining about the intergender wrestling matches, I think the person or the people that you should talk to about that are the female wrestlers: Taya, Sexy Star, Ivelisse, Mariposa. Those women are talented and powerful women who have trained their entire lives to participate in this sport of professional wrestling. They love being in the ring with talented performers, and they don't see it like an intergender match. They see it like two characters competing in the ring. So for people who are trying to criticize that, I think they're being a bit myopic on their view of what professional wrestling is. We're looking at ourselves as larger-than-life characters.
Mike Chiari?
Well, lately, a lot of big-name talent has been hitting the free agent market in the wrestling world, and the Hardy Boys obviously standing out as the biggest example of that right now. Is there anyone out there that you'd like to see Lucha Underground go after? You know, anyone that you'd like to mix it up with or think could have a positive impact on the product?
It's tough to pick any one person, because the Lucha Underground roster is so talented and so deep already. I don't know. I think with Rey Mysterio, PJ Black, Sami Callihan, Pentagon, Phoenix, Jack Evans, and Helico, like the roster that we have now is so talented and so deep. I don't know if we need any specific star to help Lucha. Now, as far as like people that that I'd like to see in Lucha Underground because I get the chance to wrestle them. I've always been a big fan of the Hardys. Had great matches with Jeff and Matt, Kenny Omega, a lot of the New Japan guys would be cool. Ethan Carter, ACH. There's so much good talent out there that selfishly I think would be cool if they came to Lucha because then I get to have matches with them. But I don't even really know if any of those guys are free agents as we speak now. I don't know if they've signed somewhere by now or what they're planning on doing, and Lucha isn't planning on coming back, I don't think, to tape season 4 until the fall. So, like I said, it's all speculation for now.
Brandon Galvin, final question?
Well, we've been fans of Lucha Underground since day one, as Donnie said earlier, and seeing how they continue to innovate the business and create a formula that seems to work very well for viewers and you guys as wrestlers and performers, is there anything you would like to see Lucha Underground do in the future to continue evolving and pushing the pace in pro wrestling?
Well, first of all, the getting on Netflix has been one of the main things. I've felt, I guess it's cool to hear how you guys feel about Lucha because I've felt like that from day one too. It's an awesome product and it's really tight, and it's cool now that people get to see full episodes outside of just the El Rey networks because there's a lot of homes that don't get El Rey. Going forward, it would be cool, in my opinion, to get into a full weekly type program, 52 episodes a year, so there's no breaks, and maybe shorten some of the time between the taping and airing dates. I think sometimes if too much time goes on, I forget what happened and it's harder for me to promote. But the positive side of that is sometimes I'm watching Lucha Underground and I'm like, damn, I did that? That's awesome. I totally forgot about that whole match. I think touring is another thing that I know people have been talking about quite a bit. We had a really successful run of live events last year with Cricket Wireless, and I think we're probably going to be doing more touring this year or next. And all those things combined really are just about fighting for those eyeballs, so to speak, getting people to watch the product. And for Lucha Underground, the good thing is that when people do tune in and watch Lucha Underground, they're pretty stoked because it's a good show.
Well, a huge thank you to Lucha Underground champion Johnny Mundo. Catch him stealing the show when Lucha Underground begins airing on Netflix March 15th and on the weekly show when it returns to the El Rey Network May 31st. Tell the fans where else they can support you, Johnny.
You can follow me on Twitter at TheRealMorrison. Follow me on Instagram at John Hennigan. That's my shoot name. Or you can like my Facebook page. It's John Morrison. There's a million fake John Morrisons, so find the one with the blue check. And go out of your way, if you're listening to this, to watch the trailer for Boone the Bounty Hunter. It's an awesome movie. I think wrestling fans are going to like it. Action movie fans are going to like it. Regular people are going to like it. My mom told me it was the best movie she's ever seen. So we're talking about a movie that cuts through age demographics. And if you like the trailer, check the movie out on May 9th when it comes out nationwide.
And that's it. Mother approved always, and they're always honest. My mom called me cute for years, despite what all the women said, and I really appreciate that. So for those out there, check out Boone the Bounty Hunter, Boone, Boone the Bounty Hunter. Check it out. Another huge thank you to Johnny Mundo. We really appreciate your time, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys.